before we begin, can you give a brief intro about yourself?
My name is Deepak. I'm the CEO of Kesari Bharat, and we are based out of Jaipur. I'm a businessman turned to be CEO in this startup. Basically, my primary business is explosives. I deal in explosives. So most of the time, earlier starting this startup, I was in mining and using explosive on day-to-day basis. I still have that business, but most of the time, my father take cares of that part. So I'm putting my full-time work in this startup as we have been handling a lot of data. So it's important somebody should be taking care of this full time.
So it is your family business, the mining that you just said.
No, actually, no, it's not a family business. I was like, I started this like 7, 10 years back when I moved from Canada. I studied there over there for 4 years, and I moved back in India. And I thought like there was an opportunity in our area that they were using some unorganized or sector explosives. So I applied for license and got the license and started working in that area.
So you are from where? Which state?
I belong to Badmer, Rajasthan. That's my hometown. Right now, I'm in Jaipur. You must have heard about Badmer, Jaisalmer.
Yes,
So
yes.
it's close to the border of Pakistan. My native village is like 3 kilometers from Pakistan border. I used to live like 30 kilometers from Pakistan for like whole my life.
Okay. So how did this startup idea came to your mind? Kesari Bharat.
Living in the rural area, the remote area, we had really great challenges, in terms of delivery, in terms of services, in terms of being a last part of India. There were like less connectivity with everything from internet to transportation and everything. So at that time when I was living, I ordered a parcel, and they said like we can't deliver in that area because we don't have a proper addressing system in place. So they delivered like 100 kilometers far away, and I have to travel 100 kilometers to get that shoes. So the idea came to me that this addressing and the mapping infrastructure is not very good in India, as compared to I was living in US, so and Canada. So I thought like, there is only one company which has been, dealing in this field is Google. So I thought like which Indian company does possess this kind of data and technology, and started working on learning more about it. Like, what are the opportunities as rise of like COVID and food deliveries and all these e-commerce. I realized that maps are the most important element of every startup. You can't think of a single startup nowadays without maps. So I started, working on how it works.
So can you please explain what this startup is about? I mean, what problem is it trying to solve?
Yes. Our startup, we are trying to develop India's own indigenous maps. Okay, so it's a complete B2B platform with all the services, with map services, with location services, with traffic services, and all those services. So we can see that this market has been monopolized by monopoly of Google, and the API prices have been increased by almost 200% in last 2 years. So there is a huge gap. There are Indian companies and foreign companies who are working here because of the data. Google has that kind of data. They are bleeding hell lot of money. Okay, so we are trying to do something better in this field with a great amount of data and technology. So we assembled a team of good scientists, machine learning scientists, and we worked on data. So the reason behind it is like to develop the ecosystem of maps so we can build n number of startup on top of it. So I give you an idea, what we are trying to do. So first our focus was to get the data, like what kind of data. Okay. So first is the road networks. Second is the polygon boundaries, like, village boundaries, state boundaries, taluka boundaries, sublocality boundaries. And the third one was the POI, like, temple, hotels, restaurants, and all those places. So we collected those data from scrapping multiple places, and after getting hold on that much of data, we developed our own SDK. So SDK is you are aware of the SDK, software development kit, So there are only 7 companies all across the globe that possess that kind of technology, SDK, that you can integrate and render maps. Okay. So we focused and we developed that SDK, which is the second most advanced SDK all across the globe. Our maps are so damn fast, it render faster than Apple Maps, Google Maps. Everything is so damn fast in our SDK. So after developing it, so what was our purpose? Why we are doing it? First, to break the monopoly, and the second is to innovate in this field. Okay, we have seen, when I say innovation, there are companies like, big companies like Google, they are just minting money out of it. But we are really doing some innovative work. Let's say that India need a GIS revolution. Okay, so what is the GIS revolution? GIS is Geographical Information System. Okay, so how we can revolutionize this? Let's say that we can track vehicles. Okay, so let's say waste management. We track vehicle when they come in our society, that vehicle arrived or not. Is the vehicle is arriving in this time, so we can do a better waste management, because there is a lot of corruption. We can do that. Let's track accidents. Okay, so once we provide services to police department, they track accidents, so they can get hold of better idea of the data, we're looking at the map that accident happened on this place at this time, this place on this time, and a lot of things they can plan according to that. Same thing with the schools, in the rural areas, when you have a geofence on a virtual geofence. So a teacher is not available in that particular school. You can, ping that, okay, the teacher is not in that school, so many things, so many startups we can build on top of the data and the technology. So some of the example I can give: Ola, Uber, then Logic IQ, then Pata.com, then Park Plus, selling and buying parking. So there are n number of, products we can build on top of this data and technology.
So you said that you have hired machine learning engineers, right, for your startup. So do you know coding on machine learning yourself,
Yes.
or have you just hired them?
Um, Yes, when I started, I don't had knowledge about like how things works in this, software development, but I learned a lot. I learned a lot. You can ask me any question from machine learning to search engines to Postgres to geometries to JavaScript to AWS, anything. I have learned a lot. I read like, 2 to 3 hours on particular topic that is going to affect us, like how innovative we can do. So I learned, and most of the time I do all the architecture, how our navigation could be scalable, how maps could be scalable, how our search engine could be scalable, delivering like, 100 thousands of search requests in milliseconds. So I learned, and I do all the architecture work, and then I hand it over to my developers. They write the code. I don't know how to code.
So you said you have learned a lot, but that means you know how to code, right?
I don't know how to code, but I got the concept how code works.
Okay, okay, I understand.
I know how the loop works and if else works, how the functions works, how we can call them, how the junctions work, iteration works, and everything. I learned it, but practically I just can't code it. I give you an example. It's a very interesting. In year 1998, okay, when this C++, I joined an institute where they taught me like C++. So they taught me only four commands: if, else, printf, scanf, and then while loop. I made snakes and ladder in year 1998 with only these five commands. So what I basically did was, it was quite interesting. What I plotted a complete with the go to xy. I plotted a complete 1 to 100, what you call, the board on top of, um, on the top, with the help of just printf. Okay. And then for the dice, what I was doing, I have printed like, I printed like, 1 2 3 4 5 6, and run a loop. So whenever you hit keyboard, it was random. It was moving random, and when you hit something, the number will, if in the number is in on 3 or 4, it will be your, your dice game. Your dice is like giving you 4. And the same thing for like, players. So let's say snakes and ladders. So I have, wrote down over there like snakes is like from 22 to 42. So whenever somebody gets like, 22, it matches 22. The whole board prints like 22, then 32, then 42, like that. It was really amazing. I was really hard at in year 1998. So yeah, so I had, the understanding and the logics how programming works. But since then, I that was my last code I wrote. That's it.
Oh, I get it. So when the idea came to your mind, the startup idea, how do you convince everyone about your startup idea? I mean, it could be your parents, it could be your customer, it could be your employees, anyone. How do you pitch your startup idea?
Everyone was saying that I'm crazy.
Everyone
Everyone
was
from my
saying,
father, crazy. You are crazy. They have a team of 10,000 developers. How you're going to beat them? There are 20 crores of roads. How you're going to plot them? They are so damn fast. They are the fastest search engine and the best search engine. How you're going to beat them? Their navigation is so cool. Nobody has problem with that. How you're going to fix that? So there were a lot of doubts. So that's why initially I got rejected by like almost 270 IITians and NITians. They all rejected my offer to join me to build something like that. But I never lost hope. I keep on working, collecting the data. I convinced two of the ISRO's junior scientists, one with the Dr. Anil Singh, senior professor. He helped me. One guy with the Dilawar, he's a neuroscientist. He helped me how the maps runs faster. So very, very small contribution, but a lot of people help me contributing, designing to getting it fast. And with the help of a lot of people, I reached to this place. But initially everyone was like, are you crazy? How you can make such a app at all? It's impossible. When Amazon, Facebook, they don't have it, how could you have it?
so you never gave up actually.
I never gave up. I don't give up at all. I'm a fighter. You can say I never gave up. No chance. You can, I work so hard, you won't believe it. This is the only attitude it requires. Because, let's say that we want to add gates. Okay. So let's say you have living in a gated colony where 10 gates are there. Okay. And somebody is like at night time, number 2 gate is open, and there is a food delivery, and he's on like by 9 number gate, and you call them, okay, 9 number is gate is supposed to call, please take gate number 2. So it takes at least 6 months, for me to just get all the gates, or at least gates in the big cities. Okay. And but I said, okay, 180 days, let's today, now after from today, अब रहे 180 दिन, 179. From tomorrow it will be 178. So I don't think like it's going to take like 6 months, 7 months. I just keep on, working on every project. Let's say people say like, okay, 6 mahine baad you will be there or not, it's not sure, but I say I will be there because I'm working for like another 6 months before.
Okay. So right now, how are you planning to expand the business? How expand your startup? Apart from Rajasthan only, how are you planning to expand pan India?
Well, we are a SaaS, so we don't need a lot of offices. We can operate from one city, so it's not like we need people down at locally every place. Okay, because with the help of satellite maps, we can play with the data a lot. Okay, so it's not like we need to move to different cities. But let's talk about the scaling. What is the opportunity we got? Okay, so first our target is just to launch our Bharat app. Okay, that's the most important part. So first we launch our Bharat Map app. So people are going to use it, and they are going to see the difference, what value addition we are giving as compared to Google, how our data is accurate and better than Google. So once they compare our navigation, our system, our search engine with Google, and they find it, wow, they are so much of value addition. They are giving 120% data, more accurate, and non-manipulative, non-tracking engine. So once we get the brand image that they have done really something good. Okay, from there we are going to add more and more services into it, like integrated cab app, cabs into our platform, so you can book a cab directly in our app. So we have already created the UI. I think I might have shared the UI with you. Have you seen our UI?
No, no, no.
You won't believe it. It's like mind boggling, jaw breaking UI, that this is so beautiful done. Okay, so I'm going to share your UI videos with you, and you're not going to believe it's going to be the world best UI, as well as the technology, behind it.
So, according to your experience, I guess many people no say that before starting a business, you should do a job for 5 to 6 years. So, according to your experience, in order to start a startup, do you think it is necessary that you have to do a job for 5 years in order to gain experience?
I won't put the numbers, but definitely job is necessary. Because I worked over there in US for 2 years, and I learned a lot. Believe me, you don't go directly to a startup. Okay, because in the job, how your employer treats you, that's where you learn to treat it like that or not to treat it like that. So in both cases you learn a lot. So let's say that your employer is not treating you well, you will learn that, okay, I don't need to treat my employees like that. And if your employees is treating you well, you learn that, okay, this is how I have to treat my employees. So this is the most important, because all startups are built of teams. Okay. And how to run the team, all businesses are, it's all about team. How to run the team, that you can learn once you are a team member only. So job is really important. You should take a job.
So if someone decide to start a business right after graduation, because you see many people nowadays start a business in their college also, so they don't have any kind of work experience. So what's your opinion about them? I mean, still
I
many
I
people
I,
succeed.
I would say still, again, I'm a staunch supporter of for my kids as well, that just do the job first. Okay, it's important to work for a company, because there are many benefits working for the company. First is like, how companies work, how they are successful or not successful, what they are doing right, what they are not doing, right. So where you are going to learn, it's not that business is being taught in our schools. So we need to have an experience to how businesses runs, so that you can learn by joining them. Okay. And without joining a business, you go for a startup, it's possible, but again, you learn, you have to go through a lot of things. You need to learn the taxation that you can learn while doing the job. You need to learn. So ultimate goal will be like, I will be starting my own business, but let's learn how they are doing taxation. Okay, let's learn how they are
How they
handling
are
the
doing
taxation.
taxation?
Tax, yeah, taxation. Like, this is the most important ingredient of business. How
I don't
taxes
understand.
works.
Taxes. Okay, okay.
Tax taxes works. So taxation is like, how tax works. Tax is the most important part, because profit comes only after tax. So if you ignore this element, there you won't see a profit at all. So you calculate your taxes, you get your profit. In business, you calculate your taxes, you get your profit.
That, okay. Okay. So, so how do you, manage your team? The employees working under you, how do you,
Uh,
motivate them to work harder, to work on?
yes, it was really, this is a really good question. Because what you do is just come to my office. I'm not there. There are like 24 people working on maps or anything software development. You just come over here and just watch them for 10 minutes, and you will see that everyone was like, keep on working, looking at their screen, not talking to each other. They are so working motivationally. They are so motivated, and they are so keen into improving the maps. The reason being because they see what I see. It was really difficult to show them. But when I started, when I got my first app, almost a year and a half back, okay, when we have our like app and navigation. So whenever I see anyone that, okay, this is our app, just use it and just do a navigation comparing with Google. Once they do that, they get motivated. Then from there they can see that, okay, so Google has the so much of messed up road data, and if I get the chance to improve it, I can make this app better. I can make our data better. So that motivates them that when we can do better than Google, what else you want? What else you want? If you being my part of a team, and you were given the opportunity that, okay, so our voice instructions should be better than Google, with better language and better data. So will you not be motivated, directly challenging the fan?
Mm.
So that's why we have name our company Kesari Bharat. Because it was inspired from the movie Kesari.
Yes,
Have you watched the Kesari?
yes, yes, yes. I have
There
watched.
were team like for 4,000 Afghans, and there were like 21 people.
Mm.
Okay, so they fought bravely, and they lost the battle, but everyone still remember the 21 people,
Mm.
because it doesn't matter. And software line is the only line where it doesn't matter, because a team of two people can build a big what a big enterprises can't. We must have seen example of WhatsApp, 200 crore users and handled by 32 people. Instagram, when it was acquired by Facebook, there were like 8 employees. And there are n number of technology SaaS startups where the number of employees are very less as compared to big enterprises, but they made it. So yeah, we can do the same.
So your employees are self-motivated, right?
Yes, they can see that what they are building. So it gives them goosebumps when we achieve something. Smaller steps. They see like, okay, in next 3 months they can see their life ahead. They can see growth in that field. So yeah.
So, there is one more thing that is, in YouTube, many motivational videos say that in order to be an entrepreneur, you have to work 16 hours a day. You cannot take any break. You cannot have any kind of entertainment. That's only how you become successful in business. So do you think it is true that you have to work 16 hours a day each and every day? and you cannot get
Well,
any kind of entertainment or recreation.
that's what I'm doing, to be very honest. It's in my case, that's what I'm doing because, as I'm not from the software line, so I have to learn a lot of things as well as the work, you know. So I don't get a lot of time. Well, I don't say that it works for everyone. Like, but when you are so much motivated, you get into any startup, it works like that. 16 or again, I say it's somewhere around like 18 hours because you are so much motivated that you get like nightmares, like, if code doesn't work, if you don't get a solution, it's like, oh yeah, how it's going to happen, it's you take a pen paper in the middle of the night and you start writing something. You get an idea of an advertisement, you get an idea of anything. If I show you my, the diary, you will see, okay, there are like 200 pages. Somewhere wrote like in 2 a.m., somewhere like wrote at 5 a.m. So startup is like your baby. It's your baby. You can't. You are so much, in love with that baby. So time doesn't matter. Time doesn't matter. It's only that you are working for someone else. Then you watch the clock. Bhaiya, 8 घंटा हो गया. When
Hmm.
you're working for yourself, like, it doesn't matter 16 hours, 18 hours, or you're enjoying. It's not working. It's basically you're enjoying.
You are working for yourself.
Yeah, you're working for yourself, so you basically enjoying. It's not you are working. I'm still at office and I don't feel that I'm working. I'm enjoying. You just look at my computer screen and I see data popping up, while we are scrapping data was popping. I look at the screen for 2 hours. Everybody comes and like, you are watching just screen for 2 hours. What you are doing? I say like, I'm seeing the data, how the data is, how the addresses are, what I'm getting, how I can make better, how can organize the data. You can see that, in many places, like, 99 acre, just dial, or just search and Google anything, any place, restaurant, you will see a address. Okay, so Domino's or any address, the next Domino's, same different address, and you say that the address is not organized at all. Can't they do it? Google is a big company. They have machine learning engineers. They have a lot of, resources. Can't they do it? Why can't they organize the address when we are doing it? You just see what we do. We take their addresses, name and address. We put it like, we parse it, we organize it, and we make our own address. And it's better. So when you see a, Domino's, you will see all addresses are very well structured. Again, you don't, it's not like, a big enterprise can done. It can do it. Anyone can do it.
So you are the first generation entrepreneur in your family, right?
Pardon? In the startup, in the software development?
No, no, you are the first generation entrepreneur in the family, in your family, right?
No. Everyone is a startup owner. Everyone is a businessman. Whole
In your
community is a
family,
business community.
oh,
Yeah, everyone is a businessman. Nobody works for anyone else. I was working in year 2009, okay, for a company. Then I read this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I left my job.
hmm. I have also read that book.
Yes, so it's the only, I don't, there are two or three principles that I have applied, and I am very successful in my business, in my, life, that I don't work for anyone else. I work for myself. Because there was another one good thing I would like to share is like, I attended a meeting in year 2012 for Amway products. You must have
Amway,
multi-chain marketing.
network
Yeah,
marketing.
Amway. And I remember only one line. They said like, how many times, how much time you work, you can work in a day. So somebody like say 8 hours, somebody say 10 hours, 12 hours. Okay, so you can work at most 16 hours or 18 hours a day. Then you hire someone. Now you can work 32 hours a day. Then you hire more people. Now you can multiply our working hours. So that was really motivational for me. Okay, so that's how I build the team. Right now, there are like 70 employees and my working with my different companies.
So do you offer work from home opportunities?
No, I don't. Actually, I really kind of against this work from home because not against, I would say it saves a lot of time. We get hold of such a good talent from anywhere. There are girls coder, girl coders who can't go out of, from like, Odisha directly to Jaipur. And there are cases, so many cases. The reason being is work from home is good where you are working in something which you know. Okay, the technology and the data and the part you already know. Okay, but we are working in a domain where basically there is very less people who don't even know that how it works, how geometrical data works, how maps renders, how navigation works. So when you are, let's say you are working on, like as I said, like identifying, working on the gated one, there was another one like predicting the traffic. Okay, not even predicting, showing user the traffic without tracking them. It's really a challenging task. A Google like system, what Google is providing, that there is a jam, there is a what you call when a traffic, there is a congestion on the road. It takes minimum 1,000 servers to do that. 1,000 servers to calculate that there is a congestion on road. Okay, and you won't believe it that with our algorithm we will do with 5 computers, 8 core, 16 GB. We were going to give you the same amount of accuracy, same amount of congestion data with 5 computers where they were doing on 1,000 computers. This is how beautifully we are writing the code, working on it. See, we take things as a challenge. We are crazy guys. We don't dive in swimming pools. So you're working from home. You are like, you are given a task and you complete it, and that's done for the day. No, we are deep divers in the sea. We deep dive in the seas. We run for the, pearl. So we are just crazy. There are sharks down there, and it's crazy journey. Believe me, from work from home, you won't get the feeling when we, figure out something. When we, hustle. It's really cool when you hustle together on front of computer. If you were here, you would have like, I would have the webinar was just completely different. You were seeing my body language, the excitement, the confidence I have. It's really completely different in looking at, a webcam and facing someone.
Yeah, actually, when you work from office, you get a sense, you get a motivation to work. The motivation is different when you work in the office, because office means you get a sense, that a sixth sense that you have to work. But home is your comfort zone.
and and yes, you're completely right. These are the points. One of our developer is on vacation. Believe me, he's on vacation for 15 days. He was working here for 4 months. He went to MP, and he's on vacation for 15 days. He said like, sir, I will work from home. Okay, from the second day he said, sir, I won't work from home. I will come back on 20th. I will join 25th. And he said like, sir, काम ही नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ. How you want me to remove the duplicates and find the category duplicates, let's say shops and battery shops. So I can't concentrate from home. I was doing so much better at office. So he said like, sir, allow me, to just enjoy my vacation. I can't perform.
Hmm.
The same guy working from home in the same data. He has been handling the same data for 3 months, but he was so afraid of running a delete query. Can any sir backup le liya kya? Have you take the backup? sir मैं delete query run कर रहा हूँ, which was simple, duplicate deletion, because as we scrap data from lot of websites, collect data from lot of websites, so there are a lot of duplicates.
Okay, so do you think that accountancy, learning accounts is necessary in order to do business? Do you think a founder need to know about accounts or have a good grip about accounts?
Yes, yes, they do. They do need to. Accounts, taxation. Tax is really important, not just profit and loss. Just focus on the tax part, believe me. When I emphasize on the tax part, from income tax to sale tax, from TDS to everything. If you understand that part, you will run. Accounts is really very important because you need to understand cash flow, where you are going to get the money, how you are going to pay the salary for next 6 months, how you are going to get the customers. These are the very important. I am a bootstrapped successful businessman, so that's why I'm investing all my money into it.
So have you
Okay,
learned
so
accountancy yourself?
no, I'm a e-commerce student.
That means you know accountancy already.
Yes, I know accounting. I was damn good, and I'm typically bania. I'm a typical bania. When I was like in eighth class, my grandfather used to tell me like, okay, calculate the interest for this amount of for this time of period and this. He used to be people visiting our place, and he said like kitna interest hua iska calculate karke do, and if we don't calculate, he used to kick us. So that's we are typical baniya. So business is in our blood, but for people who have like definitely accounting is really important. It's not so hard, it's very interesting, and you can easily communicate, profit, loss, these words you understand on a daily basis, plus minus, it's a simple maths, it's not as complicated. It seems that a science student can't understand accounting. You got my point, na?
Mhm. So, okay, so last question. So, what are some of the books that you would recommend to read in order to start a business?
First, Rich Dad Poor Dad.
I have read that.
That's the that's the must. The second I would recommend is Atomic Habits, because that's really very important. The consistency, Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habit. Atomic Habit, I guess it's about habit, right? Developing habit. It's not about startup or business.
Yes, it's about consistency. It's about consistency. You develop a habit. It's not matter of startup. It's about everything. Startup, you need a habit, a consistency. you know a consistency to habit is all about consistency. Like you are working for something, you get like 10 of ideas, which idea you should work. So I have, you won't believe it, I have a complete white paper of 20 pages for a digital payment system. Okay, and that is going to change the complete system, how you are using it's a next revolution apart from UPI and Paytm. Okay, but that's just sitting idle. Until I make this successful, I'm not going to work on that. So this how I learned this, that to be consistent on something, you need to develop a habit to focus. So Atomic Habits was important. Then the books I would recommend, movies, not books.
No, what are some of the books that you have read? You can share that have helped you in your business.
I I would say like Rich Dad Poor Dad, Atomic Habits, and Psychology of Money.
Yes,
These are
Psychology
the
of Money. I
only
have
three
read that
books
also.
I could. Yes, these are the three books I could say. But I would say movies. Just watch Three Idiot again and again and again.
Idiot.
Just Three Idiot.
How can it
Three
help in
Idiots.
business?
It helps everywhere. It's like you follow your passion. It's not matter of money at all. If I would have calculated, everyone will ask, like, everyone ask me the same question. Your startup, तेरे startup को तो कोई खरीद लेगा, Google खरीद लेगा तेरे को. I said, why? वो नहीं खरीद सकता. Because this is my baby. I'm so much passionate about it. I'm going to build better than Google. So I'm following my passion. It's not like how much money I'm going to make. So that's what is taught in Three Idiot. Watch Lakshya. Ritik Roshan. Lakshya. When you are like, college kid, you don't know. And just watch a single line when he was showing this to that what girl name, Preeti Jinta. ये है मेरा लक्ष्य. So you just find lakshya of your life. That's important. And the third I would recommend is Rang De Basanti. Rang De Basanti. It's like you are a cool kid drinking beer, jumping here and there, not serious about your life, and just messing around with your life, and you are very simple people. Okay, but still you can make the change. Jab Amir Khan, he said to that that girl that I never believed that we can do something, we can die for doing something. कुछ करने के लिए हम लोग अपनी जान दे दें, ऐसा हमारे में जज्बा था, मुझे कभी एहसास ही नहीं हुआ, है ना? So that was the story of me. I was like, I never thought like I could do something really big. So you can do that, and the most important part is, guys, 5G is coming. Hardwares are getting, the people are getting more faster, and new hardwares in their hand. The mobile phones are so advanced now. If your app is not optimized, you need to optimize your code so much that in 2008 your video can render on 2G internet connection. But if your code is not optimized, it can still render on 5G now. So you can compete with the engineer of 2008. Now you can make your own video services. You can make your own Gmail. You can make your own Facebook, because you don't need to optimize code, because hardware is fast. Internet connection is fast. So you can compete Netflix. You can compete YouTube. You can compete Google. You can compete. You can make Instagram. So think big. Yeah, think big. That was another book. Think big. Yes, I forgot about that.
The power of positive thinking.
Power of thinking, positive thinking.
Yes.
Think big, think big. For the first, chapter, he was like, just think big, think big, think big. Then that interested from, I got interested from the second chapter when he taught me about like, the fears. Exodus, fears of intelligence. I always used to think that IITians are the only people who can build this. So I used to pitch every IITian. We are going to build apps, maps. Then I was fear of like age. Are itna umar ho gaya, how I'm going to start at this age, a completely new, learn new things. So that was really good. That was really good a book. Yeah, I would add that.
Okay,
Cool.
sir. So I guess that was all for today. So it was nice talking with you. Got to learn a lot of things.
Thank you. Yes,
Okay.
it's a really, and once you see our app, you will really love it. Whatever I am saying, and when you watch this video, you will realize that he was saying every single word from his heart. He really achieved this success, and that you will realize once you see our demo of our app. That is going to blow your mind, believe me.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for.
Thanks for the session.